If you clicked on this video to learn about how you can make the best deals in the world of real estate,
these Patty's dollars look great, bro.
Yeah.
I'm really glad we went with the color.
Oh, yeah.
They pop.
then you're in the right place. Today, I want to talk to you about how you can get amazing deals at foreclosure auctions. Now, what is a foreclosure? And does it mean that if you buy a house, the property is a train wreck and no bank will finance you? Maybe I can even give you some insight on how you can outsmart some of your competitors. My name's Kevin, I'm the Property Prince, and I wanted to bring this video to you today to help you learn how you can have success in the world of real estate. But it means you're gonna have to subscribe to our channel and click the like button before we get started.
Two guys take on real estate.
What is a foreclosure? And a foreclosure is basically, it's a scenario where a lien holder or a lender basically isn't getting paid by the property owner. And a foreclosure is the process they'll go through to force a sale to recoup the money that's owed by the owner. And there's a few different terms people are going to be hearing about quite often. There's going to be auction, there's going to be short sales, and then there's traditional sales. I think everybody's familiar with a traditional sale where the owner puts the house on the market, for instance, and sells it at an agreed upon price, usually for at least what they owe on it to their bank, or maybe even a little bit more.
You got to do me a favor. I owe my dues, and I got to pay them tonight, or they'll throw me out. Now, I need about $15.
$15? I ain't got $15. I got an idea, though, how you can get the $15. Why don't you sell the bag for 15 bucks?
Short sale is kind of in the middle, and it's basically when the owner is underwater in their home, they're not able to pay their mortgage, and the bank agrees to let the owner off the hook if they sell it at an agreed upon price, usually with the bank taking a small loss, but freeing them up from having to go through a whole foreclosure process and host an auction. Now, an auction is basically just like what it sounds like. It's a public auction, usually happening right at the property, and usually it's by the bank, a mortgage holder who is not getting paid. They have no choice but to hold a public auction, advertise it, invite people like you to bid on the property that they're trying to liquidate and cover as much of their loan amount as possible. Now, foreclosure auctions, those properties, well, they can be purchased for sometimes way less than market value. And that's why people love to learn about this and probably why you're here watching me right now. So let me tell you why that might be. Well, often at a foreclosure auction, you don't have a lot of information at all about the property. In fact, we've bought properties without ever stepping foot inside, and we paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to do so. Would you imagine paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to bid on a mystery box? Well, a lot of people won't do it. So naturally, that means the price is usually a lot lower than what the value of the property is. For instance, if you're looking at a property that was all fixed up, you know that property in great shape is worth $500,000. Most people going to an auction, not being able to see inside, not knowing even if the property is vacant or not, they would never bid anywhere close to $500,000. You're bidding low and obtaining a property low because there's a lot of risk and a lot of unknowns factored in there. And it can be an awesome way to obtain an inexpensive property or an awesome way to lose your shirt. All right, now, so I mentioned something there about being vacant or being occupied, and that's actually something that's super surprising to so many people that I've actually met at auctions that are intending to bid on a property. They're blown away by the idea that an auction could be held and the property could be sold with people living inside of it, and that if they took over the property, they're now responsible for dealing with that situation. Now, who are the people inside? Well, you don't know. You really generally don't know who's living at that property that you're looking to buy. And that can be incredibly scary for a potential bidder and something you need to figure out ahead of time. Now, what are some of the other conditions you might find at a foreclosure property? Well, think about it this way. If that property had been sitting vacant for a long time, like sometimes a really long time, you never know if people have been making their way in and out of that property, stealing, cutting the pipes, looting the plumbing. So you have to kind of almost assume the worst. You really want to do as much homework as you possibly can to help narrow down your suspicions on what kind of condition the inside of that property is in. In one case, if it's occupied, presumably you might think that it's in somewhat livable conditions. If it's been unoccupied for a long time, abandoned and a blighted property in the neighborhood, you might want to assume the worst and that home is going to need total rehab. So let's say you're super interested in purchasing a foreclosure property. Let's say you go to an auction and maybe I saw you there. Maybe you bid against me and guess what? You had the winning bid. Awesome. Now, how do you pay for it? So some people are going to show up to these auctions with maybe just a briefcase full of money. Okay, not really. But the idea is they're cash buyers. They have the resources. They've been saving. They've been successful. They've been planning. They're ready to buy this place in cash. When you close on a foreclosure property and need to actually come up with the money, it's pretty quick from the day of the auction. You don't have the opportunity almost always to go through a conventional lending process and start a mortgage application and go to a bank and do all that. That will never happen. So most people that are buying at an auction have cash ready. Maybe they're buying a $50,000 house or a $100,000 property. They have that money ready to go. You might not. Does that mean you can't bid? Does that mean you can't compete? Absolutely not. It definitely doesn't mean that. But it doesn't mean that you can go and get yourself a conventional mortgage anyway. What you need to do is realize there's something in the middle, and you can find lenders that will lend very quickly on something like this. So what I would consider doing, if you don't have the money actually in your bank lined up ready to go, is find a private lender or a hard money lender and start building a relationship with them so that you can go to the auction and have all the funding you'll need to make your next deal happen. So you decided finally it's time for you to go to your first foreclosure auction, and you're probably wondering what to expect. Well, what you can definitely expect to see there is going to be an auctioneer and maybe even a member of the bank or somebody representing the bank that's foreclosing on the property, and they're there to put in a bid. So one of the first things you want to do is you want to go over to the auctioneer, introduce yourself, register to bid. Don't just show up, don't wait in the car, don't look around the outside of the property without remembering to approach them to make sure that if you are ready to bid, your bid will count. If you don't register, a lot of times they won't let you actually bid at all. And it's important to know you may need to bring funds with you to register. So you may not have to bring all $100,000 that you're intending to bid on this house, but you might need to bring a deposit check of $5,000. Otherwise, again, they won't let you bid or let your bid count. They want to remove the possibility of somebody interfering with the auction that's not serious about buying something. So to be serious and show that you're willing to go forward, you have to put down a non-refundable deposit in the event of your bid winning. How do you prepare your offer for this auction? Well, you already hopefully have done some due diligence, as we've talked about a lot on our channel, before you got to the property. And while you're there at the property, find out if access is permitted. Usually you don't get to see the inside, but you can surmise, you can do some detective work by looking around the outside of the property. You get a pretty good idea of maybe what some of the inside issues might be. If the property's horribly outdated outside or unkempt, peeling paint, outdated siding, a roof that needs complete overhaul or replacement, it's probably a pretty safe bet that they haven't just updated their kitchen and bathroom that year. So you may be looking at having to do updates on the inside of the property as well. Now, once the bidding gets going, a lot of things can really happen, and psychology really comes into play. If you set up a number and prepared your offer to be $150,000 based on what you've seen and the due diligence that you've performed, you need to remember to not get emotional and stick to that number. And that's harder than you'd think. Wait till you get put in a situation where there is just a bidding frenzy. Maybe you're at $130,000. You're in the bidding, and so are 3 other investors. The bidding goes from $500 increments to $5,000 increments, and you're about to blow right by your $150,000 max offer. Does that mean you should keep bidding? Well, it might, because maybe these people who are significantly experienced investors know something that you don't, and that's why they're aggressively bidding, and you don't want to miss out on an amazing deal, so you bid against them too. Always make sure you stick to the number that you decided for yourself. Don't get emotional about it. Remember, other people have different uses for that property than you might have, and that's how they came up with their bid number. Also, other people make mistakes, and you can't afford to. So make sure once you pick your bidding number and you start the auction, you don't get caught up in the chaos in the bidding wars. If you've learned something in this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up so other people will find it too. Take a second, make sure you're still subscribed to our channel. And if you have experience with foreclosures, drop a comment, tell people about it. We'd love to hear feedback, and so do our viewers.